Hey y'all, welcome to another Think Aloud Thursday. Um, yeah, it's still technically Thursday. It's pretty late where I live, 10:41 to be specific, but it's still Thursday, so we're gonna do a Think Aloud Thursday. So yeah. Today's topic, we got two. For one, Final Fantasy VII, the video game, and two, generative AI, or maybe AI in general too. um, but more of a focus on generative AI, I'd say, and just kind of comparing and contrasting that and Final Fantasy VII, and I may also talk about, some philosophical things regarding AI in the future, because that's been a topic on my mind lately too. If AI can ever truly um, replace or completely mimic human expression, um, and it be meaningful, If so, that's kind of scary because that's the one thing we can cling on to as humans, you know what I mean? That AI can never replicate truly. But what if it can, I'm not sure. But anyway, might be able to discuss it later, but yeah. Uh, First of all, I beat Final Fantasy VII today, the original, not the remake. By the way, I don't know. It's cool how there's like three games for the remakes. I think it's like Integrate and then like Rebirth and then whatever the new game's gonna be called. That's really dope because I played the original Final Fantasy VII, and if they're, this is one of the games that deserves to have like a passion project for it. You know what I mean? Because it's timeless. But yeah, I do genuinely believe that Final Fantasy VII is one of the best games ever made. Um, but anyway, might get in. I'll get into that later. But um, Sephiroth today, because I spent today working on Disc 3, right? Disc 3 is the shortest because it's just the final area. Um, but man, I was so pissed because I made it all the way to Sephiroth and I lost. And there's no auto saves in this game, so wherever you saved last, that's just where you go to. And that happened to be at the very beginning, pretty much. So losing all that progress after coming so close to being Sephiroth sucked. Um, he was a cakewalk the second time though, because I was prepared. I had um, barriers and destruct, I believe, or um, and then some, yeah, I was just ready, so I knew what was coming. And then I had like a ribbon, and then like I think I used the vaccine. Um, by the way, my final party was Cloud, obviously, and then Vincent Valentine and Red the 13th. So I thought it'd be pretty cool because originally I was gonna do like Barrett and Tifa because they're the OGs, but I don't know. I just decided on those two after I beat Hojo with them. Yeah, anyway, sidetracked. Um, yeah, dude, this game is just incredible. Um, I mean, a true work of art, and you can tell because it's considered to be the very first AAA game of all time. Um, yeah, I mean, it had a really high budget for its time, a lot of effort put into it, um, and you could tell just a lot of love and effort. Um, with like the computer graphics used for like the cutscenes. Those were really cool. And it was also cool to see, if memory serves, I feel like they got better at it just as I guess development went on. Because by the time Disc 3 and like later parts of Disc 2 came around, those cutscenes looked really fucking cool. And they looked really cool, earlier too, but uh, they were definitely a step above. And then also just how big the world is, especially for the time, man. There's like just going around the overworld to new places, traveling. It genuinely does feel like an adventure, but um, that's just really, really cool. Um, but yeah, anyway, point is, Final Fantasy VII's an amazing game. It's every aspect you can think of, like storytelling, characters, music, gameplay, anything you can think of. It just does an amazing job at. Um, so yeah, man. Um, it should definitely be used as an example of like a timeless video game. Um, Now certain things haven't aged the best. Like I don't know if it'd be UI or just like how the battles work, but when you're trying to use an item or like a move on a certain character, sometimes it could be really hard to tell who you're selecting. You know what I mean? So that could be frustrating when you think, "Oh, okay, uh, this is Kate Sith, right?" And then you do it, and it's like, "Fuck, dude, it's Yuffie or Yuffie. I don't know how to pronounce her name." Um, that's just frustrating, wasting an item just like that, just because of how the battle works and like the camera angles and stuff. Um, I don't know. So certain things haven't aged the best, but overall, still, it's a classic, man. I recommend anyone play it. Um, but yeah. Now, what does Final Fantasy VII have to do with AI? For one, I thought of like a kind of neat, weird comparison. I feel like the Shinra Corporation, which is like one of the antagonists of the game, um, reminds me a lot of like modern day companies. You know what I mean? And we could use AI companies as an example here because in Final Fantasy VII, I'm starting to misspeak a lot now. That's a bummer, but in Final Fantasy VII, Shinra has a lot of power, and a lot of that has to do with them draining Mako energy from the Earth. And basically, Shinra just sucks all the life energy out of Earth for profit. Um, Guess what AI companies are doing? They are using a lot of natural resources and water, people like to point out too, which could be, it's energy, right? Um, they're using that to power AI um, at the data centers and stuff. Um, I'll have to do some more research on it, of course, but I'm pretty sure, um, you know, that's what it's for. Um, but yeah, anyway, I think it's a neat comparison. Um, because yeah, nowadays companies are so greedy and power hungry that they will do anything for a profit. And I feel like Final Fantasy VII just kind of predicted the future there. They really hit the nail on the head, whether they meant to or not. But yeah, it's very interesting. So I wonder if someday we're gonna get a group like Avalanche who wants to. I wonder if you can hear the tapping, but yeah, a group like Avalanche that can stand up to Shinra and what's right for the Earth and our people. So yeah. Um, yeah, I guess I'll start hosting like a sign up, you know what I mean? There's like, yeah, 7 other people can join my group whenever the day calls upon us. You know what I mean? When the time is right, we will blow up a database, I guess, kind of like how they blew up like a Macro reactor in the beginning of the game. But obviously, I'm kidding. But yeah, I do find that interesting. But also with AI and Final Fantasy VII, I don't know, man. The human expression element. Um, I feel like AI is going to have a really tough time making something as good as that game in the future. You know what I mean? And a lot of other games can be used as examples too. But there is something about it that I don't think can be recaptured about AI or with AI. I mean, um, no matter. But what do I know? It's just something I've been thinking about. But yeah, um, because I'm not even too sure. Maybe someday something like that can be recaptured using AI, and that's scary. I can't remember if I mentioned it in this take or not. But that's the one thing humanity kind of clings on to when it comes to AI. It can do a lot of stuff better than we can, or eventually it can. But the one thing we'll always be better at, presumably, will be art, you know? Um, there's just something uniquely human about it. But yeah, I've just been worried that maybe someday that won't be the case anymore. Maybe something made entirely with generative AI can make a masterpiece, you know what I mean? Um, yeah, I don't know. Because it's kind of interesting too, because if you really think about it, AI and computers and stuff, they're kind of like us, like the human brain, you know what I mean? There's a lot of comparisons that could be made, you know. We draw from external stimuli and information to um, uh, build like I don't even know what you call it, like a model in your mind, you know what I mean? Um, like when you start out in this world, you got nothing. But then over time, you gain new knowledge, new information, and you kind of build something in your mind of, you know, what the world is like. Um, and in a sense, that's kind of what artificial intelligence is doing too. You know, it's very new, so it's just starting to learn a bunch of stuff and yada yada yada. But also, you know, it depends on the technology mainly. Uh, Once it gets better, which it inevitably will because of how much is being invested towards AI. Um, we'll see if it can match us, I guess. Um, but I don't know. It's been kind of scary, honestly. Um, but yeah, in a sense too, honestly. I'm not gonna talk about it in this video, but um I plan on doing maybe a series where I just go over hot takes. I don't think I have too many. Or maybe I haven't, you know, I maybe I do have a lot, but just can't think of them. But one of my hot takes is that in certain ways AI is overhated. And I can tell you later if you guys are interested, but for now, yeah. So what's my conclusion? I don't know. My conclusion mainly is that video games rock, and that like with Final Fantasy VII, they can be or genuine works of art. Dude, I've been struggling today, but oh well. You guys can still understand me, even though I'm stuttering and stuff. It bothers me, but that's just a me thing, because I'm a perfectionist and I don't like sloppy uh takes. But anyway, I think that should do it. I think I got a lot of my points across. But mainly, I want you guys to think about this more too. Not only with how maybe Final Fantasy VII is like, I don't know, um, what do you call like a person that predicts the future? Um, a clairvoyant? No. There's something better. I can vaguely remember it, but whatever. Um, but also like just the future of AI and if it can replicate uh the human magic of I don't know, whatever. Anyway, hope you guys had a great day, or will have a great day, depending on when you're watching this. But yeah, see you in the next video.